What's going on, YouTube Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I want to tackle the common misconception within the Call of Duty community that many of its biggest critics want to see Call of Duty fail. They want to see Call of Duty become a franchise no more. I actually believe, and I'll speak on behalf of myself, as I am somebody who's been very critical of this franchise, that we actually want to see Call of Duty course correct. We want them to realize the potential they have in this franchise and actually watch it grow. I don't want to see Call of Duty flame out and become nothing. That's not my goal here. That's not something that I want for this franchise. I have so many amazing moments with this franchise that I want them to keep going. I want to experience that opportunity to get my friends together online, still play, joke around, and enjoy each other's presence. But with where the games are at and where they're going, it's very frustrating to even try to get people excited to play because the games just aren't meeting the expectations of many in this community. And this hasn't been a one-off situation. This isn't like it's only happened for the last couple years and that's it. No, it's been a growing problem that's been compounding over the last several years, and it's only gotten worse. They haven't really course corrected. They've traded in good game design for lackluster microtransaction content. And when I say that it's lackluster, it's not that I'm against microtransaction content. That's never what this has been about. I've always actually been okay with it. But they never leverage the revenues from the microtransaction money into making the games better. They just pocket the revenues. And that's not the contract that we signed here. That's not the deal we made. We want those revenues to go back into the game. Obviously not all of it. You still have to pay your people. You still have to take a little bit of the money off the top. But when it comes down to it, I'd like to see some improvements in the franchise. But it's very clear that they're decreasing the quality of the games in order to reap more of the benefit of high revenues. And it's a smart business decision. I've never argued that it's not. But it's disappointing because it's further alienating members of this community that are looking for any reason to enjoy Call of Duty. And you're just not giving them a reason anymore. And it's not that people want to see Call of Duty fail. It's that we want to see it succeed. We want to see it meet the expectations. We want it to be as successful as it can be. But it's being actively held back by decisions that are made by Activision year in and year out. I am totally fine with the game making money. I actually believe if they made a better product, they'd make even more money. If they invested some of that money that they make from the microtransaction revenues back into the game, they'd then make more money from people wanting to play the games. I've been praising Season 5 ever since it's come out for Modern Warfare 2, and I'm going to continue to praise it. But the problem is we're getting this type of content too late in the game's life cycle. We're getting it when so many people have already moved on. So many people are tired of what's happening. You have to release this type of content way back in January or February of the game's life cycle when you still have the core audience playing it. Now, those that are playing the game, you don't have to do anything to retain those players. They are there. They are committed to your game. So what are you doing to try to keep the players that leave early on? Instead of making your best content drops later in the year, my thought process would be juice up the game early in the game's life cycle. Get people addicted early so that you can have them committed to your game for the entirety of the game's life cycle. There's a reason why we've all fallen in love with the older Call of Duty games. It's because we were committed to them early on. There was reasons to be committed to the game. And that's why we still go back to play them now. There's no reason for me to go back and play some of the Call of Duties that have been released over the last few years, let alone Modern Warfare 2 after this year is over, because there's no incentive for me to go there. I have no connection to the game because the game never grabbed me. It always found ways to push me away. It always found ways to alienate me. And I know I'm not alone in that. And to get this commentary back on track when we reference those who are critical of Call of Duty, there is probably a small minority that do want to see Call of Duty fail. And that's not what I think a lot of those who are critical of Call of Duty want. I know that's not what I want. I want Call of Duty to be as great as it possibly can be. I want it to meet the expectations of the community. I want it to be the best version of itself. I want it to realize its potential and capitalize on it. There is a lot of revenue that has left the franchise over the last few years because of the fact that they are not listening to the community. They're out of touch with what many in this community want. Instead, they're catering the game to their casual fan base that, frankly, isn't as vocal, isn't as demanding as the critical voices are. And the proof is in the pudding. Those who are critical of Call of Duty have been shown the door the last few years. Those who don't agree with the agenda that Call of Duty's pushing get shown the door. And I don't think that's right. Call of Duty should be trying its best to connect to its community instead of pushing it away. So no, I don't think Call of Duty is capitalizing on its maximum revenue. I don't think it's capitalizing on its maximum market, because there's a lot more out there for it to realize. There's a lot more out there for them to capture. And until they start making decisions that are for the community and for their player base instead of for their own pockets, they're going to still turn away a lot of people. They're still going to have people that are going to be critical of them. I would love to sit here and make constant videos praising the decisions Call of Duty has made, but it's very hard to do that when they constantly make bad decisions, when they're constantly working against their best interests. I see what Season 5 is, and it's too little too late. It's a situation where you finally brought in content that can retain players and can build a really strong community and player base. But it's in July of the game's life cycle, when you've just had 4 other seasons that have actively pushed your player base away. How many people are going to come back? A lot of people don't even know Season 5 exists because they've tuned out Call of Duty for this year. So why aren't these content drops being pushed sooner in the game's life cycle? Why is it that they're not working harder to mend the relationship between the community and the developer? There's so many questions that are left unanswered because it's very obvious that Activision is concerned about only one thing. It's not about your enjoyment while you're playing their game. It's not about you having a great experience. It's about them maximizing the revenue. But the problem is they're not even doing that. They're missing the mark on so much more revenue if they just worked alongside their community. It's just a missed opportunity altogether. And man, is it frustrating to see that, because I believe that Call of Duty could be so much better. And I want Call of Duty to be so much better. I don't want to see Call of Duty die off. That would suck, man. This game has a tremendous legacy. It has some of my favorite moments that I've shared with friends. I don't want to lose that opportunity to make new memories on this game with friends. I've already lost that with Halo. I can't lose that with Call of Duty as well. That'd just be too damn depressing. I'm already losing my hair. I don't want to lose Call of Duty alongside of it. I don't want to lose that opportunity to hop on with your friends and make memories. Shoot the shit. Joke around. Reminisce of old times. And just lose the night by playing Call of Duty. And I know there's other games out there that I could do this with. That's not the argument here. It's just that so many of these moments have been shared in Call of Duty. I'd like to make new memories on other Call of Duty games. That's the point. So in conclusion, to bring this all together to a dramatic ending, I don't believe that many members of the Call of Duty community want to see Call of Duty fail, let alone some of its biggest critics. What the critics would like to see is a franchise that is moving in a positive direction instead of continuing down this downward trend of not reaching your expectations, not realizing your potential, and releasing lackluster games that are supplemented early on by lackluster content, only to be saved late in the game's life cycle when everybody has already moved on. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you in the camp of those who are critical of Call of Duty and want to see it succeed? Or are you somebody who enjoys Call of Duty and think that there is too much negativity around it? Would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.